Today we're going to bring a ThinkStation P620 model. Now this one has a Threadripper. It could go up to 64 cores. It's a 4.3 hertz. Graphic card. It has an NVIDIA Quadro. This is equally almost similar to a 3080. All right, so it's right in the range right there. So this one could go up to 20 terabytes out of the box. It's capable of handling pretty much any project you have, especially for the movie industry, the gaming industry. This is a great machine to have. Now, to upgrade is very difficult. It's one of the most difficult systems because everything's pretty much built for the machine, not built to upgrade. Now, the problem I have is that we do have a RTX 4090, and unfortunately we cannot upgrade the actual power supply, and that's going to be an issue. So today we're just going to go over the actual system and see how it looks inside and see what you get when you get something like this. Let's start with the cons. The first thing I do like about all the latches that you can remove every single component in here. Very simple, but the problem is that it's just certain things you cannot do. And this is the power supply. I'm just giving you guys a demo of how it comes proprietary to the actual system. So that means you cannot replace it only with the same module. Now everything has latches, which I like. Release mechanisms also. We're going to go over a couple things you can remove. Very simple, easy to use, and then how to replace it. All right, so let's go ahead and remove some of the components. All right, we're going to take a look at the memory right now. I just took out the actual module that comes with it. It's for the actual cooling of the memory. And right now, what I'm looking at the actual memory right now, the memory is a Samsung memory. It's a 3200 pretty much, and it's 16 2x. All right, it's a DDR4 on this one, 3200 hertz. All right, on the memory itself. So memory's not that expensive, you know. We'll probably find it for like 60-50 bucks. And this is 32, but 16 gigs will give 32 gigs will actually be about $50-$60. All right, so easy to upgrade the memory too. So if you guys notice, the slots here and here is a secondary memory, so it has plenty of memory for a lot. I like that it comes with the actual slot for the memory, and this one's easy to pick up. All right, you just gotta have to press it. That's it to take it off. It does have a regular standard fan, all right, connection. So let's plug it in. All right, let's remove the video card. So the video card is connected in the back, all right, and this one has a 6-pin right now, and there's two 6-pins. All right, so we're gonna disconnect. So if you guys can see it, this is what's plugged in the back of the video card. I did put 2 hard drives, so that's me putting the hard drives. Now this one in particular, you have to lift up here, right? Go back, and then you do have to remove the extra screws. So there's screws that are tied in on the bottom end. Okay? So make sure you take that off. We're gonna remove this so we can see how much space we have. All right, we're changing position on the actual system so we can actually remove the video card. So let's go ahead and remove the video card. And you got to be careful because there's actually a bracket here in the back. If you guys can see it, it slides in. All right, and we're going to have to remove this part right here, but you're going to have to come out straight up. All right, so let's disconnect this first. We're going to disconnect this card first here, and then we're able to bring it up because of the slot. All right, so you're able to click this. If you guys see it, this is actual lock. To lock it in, now we're able to release it, and you got to release it from here too. Go straight up, straight up. There's a video card. This is the video card that came with the system, and if you guys notice, it's a heavy duty card. All right, it has plenty of slots, and this is equal to almost similar to a 3090, right? Not 3090, 3080. That's pretty much it, you know. Of course, it's a RTX A5000. It's a little dusty. We're going to clean it up. We're going to put this on the side and see what's available. Let's go ahead and review the inside of the actual system. All right, if you guys notice, there's plenty of slots, all right? Of course, this slot right here is going to be taken by your video card, and the other one's going to be cover it, all right? So you got one up here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it tells you what type of cards can fit in here. I'm going to give you guys this little close look up. Now, this one says slot 8X, generation 4. They're all generation 4, right? Slot X16 generation 4, slot 16, and then slot right here 8X. So you have 8X, 8X, and 16. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 16s, and 2 8X. All right. So you got a lot of space in here for any other video cards. If you're going to add a secondary video card, or not only that, an Asus M.2 reader, you could do all sorts of things. But I like that they give you all the SATA connections in here on the right. That's because you could RAID the systems, all right? So we do have some drives in here. We're going to add some additional drives later down the line. This could act like more like a server too, because overheating is perfect on this. There's more slots on this side here that you could add certain things in here. But unfortunately, they didn't give you any slots to actually rack them in there. So you're going to have to either remove these two. You only have space for 2 more. And that's about it. There's not that much space in here. For upgrading, the only thing you could upgrade here, the drives. Even the M.2 drive is a little difficult because it is built in here like a generic build for their system. Even that's a little difficult to replace, but you can replace it, right? So you could replace the memory, you could add memory. The drive itself, I wouldn't recommend changing the actual fan itself. If you want to put a water cooling system, you might not have the space because the actual fans are really small. They're not the 22, they're not the 120. They're smaller, really small fans, and they're generic, right? They're only made for this kind of systems. I've seen these kind of built on a Dell. And of course, now I'm looking at Lenovo. Lenovo is pretty good because they still let you upgrade certain things. A motherboard, you're not going to be able to change anything out of here. Now, if you ever want to upgrade your system to a different case, you're going to need a lot more than just a case. You're going to need to replace the whole entire motherboard. Because the system is a generic motherboard, it's a larger motherboard. It will not fit in any basic case, right? And on top of that, you still need to migrate the rest of the wiring. And not only that, you need to migrate the actual power supply, which is a different setup, right? It's nothing like the other systems. Of course, it has a slot. You could pull it out if you want. This is the actual power cord, and it does come out completely, right? And it does connect to the actual motherboard. So we're going to take a look at the M.2 that's embedded in here. It's locked right here. You got to you don't have to remove the screw. You could just unlock it here, but we're going to see if we could try to avoid not removing the screw. So we're going to see if we can unlock it, but there might be some thermal tape or some paste. So we're going to take a look at it, see what's underneath and what kind of M.2, and if it's an 80 millimeter or 30, we're gonna find out. So let's open it up. All right, so I finally removed it, and the way you have to do it is push the button in and up, and once it opens up, you got plenty of space. So they do have 2 slots for it to do M.2s, if you guys can, and NVMe. All right, right now we currently have 1, and it's 1 terabyte. This is the case itself, and in the case it tells you exactly how to remove the actual radiator that's covering the M.2. Pretty much this is all the floor plan of the actual system that you have, the motherboard, including with the drives, and including with the reset of the CMOS and all that stuff's in here, the power supply, everything's lined up and physically. So they do want you to mess with it, but at certain degrees, all right? So